Pastor Stephen Uloko Ilojo has been kidnapped.
There was the day I was going to Lagos. I was kidnapped in between, if you know Kaduna very well, in between Aleri camp and the Ola. I was kidnapped.
Was arrested.
The MD, the chief security, now boggle me inside one Camry car because from there to Ilupeju division is not far. It's easily trackable. I don't know what they discussed with the police. The next thing I just found myself in the police station at Ilupeju division.
His bail was revoked. He still went back to the same prison again.
Was revoked. I was sent back to Creek Remedial Prison. I spent like a month or 2 weeks there again.
Too many issues to look into. Good day, everyone. I am Dale Pascal, and I'll be your host for today's unusual session on Lawyers Hangout Justice. With me in the studio is Pastor Stephen Uloko. He is our guest in the studio today. So you're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I also have with me my colleague, Munirat Adama, who shall be our discussant on today's issues. Munirat, you're welcome also.
Thank you for having me, Pascal.
Munirat, you look exceptionally wonderful today.
Thank you very much, Pascal.
Okay. So our topic for discussion today on Lawyers Hangout Justice is bordering on unfair trade practices and criminality within the workplace. We have been briefed of a story by Pastor Ilojo, seated here, and we deem it proper that we hear directly from him. Let him tell the world his story, and then we'll know where we take it up from there. Let's see the justice of the matter. Pastor, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's go right into it. The floor is yours. Please tell us your story as it relates to the petition against the West African Book Publishers. I know their headquarters is in Lagos.
Ilupeju, Lagos.
And I also understand you worked with them at the time.
Yeah.
So please tell us your story.
Yeah, my story goes in the year 2009, I gained employment with West African Publishers Limited. From Kano, I was posted to Maiduguri, covering Maiduguri and Yobe in between 2009 and 2010. And when the Boko Haram started, I seek for redeployment back from there to Kaduna or Kano. And I was told that there's no space at that moment. So I have to tender my resignation letter. So in the year 2018, and I was called upon that there was an opening in the company that I can equally come back and resume work with them if I'm so interested in joining them back. I went for the interview, and I was offered an employment to cover Kaduna State. And all were going on well, not until ending of 2019 to 2020, thereabout. A lot of things started happening, and I was not comfortable. I have to tender my resignation letter to the management of the company, and send a letter to me that they are not going to accept my resignation letter.
Sorry, when you say a lot of things happen, that's ambiguous. What do you mean by a lot of things for the purposes of clarification?
Yeah, it has to do with fraud within the management and some of the staff. There was an incident that happened in Bauchi, Gombe. A rep there and the company auditor went to print the company book without the consent of the company. And when I got to know about it, I raised an alarm and I sent an evidence to the head office then. But I became a victim after that report. So the auditor and the sales rep covering Bauchi Gombe, Mr. Adekule Oladipo, went and planned their ways of doing things against me. When I could no longer bear it, I have to tender my resignation letter. That was November 2020. And I was invited to come to Lagos in the month of January, but it was not convenient for me. So they now rescheduled the meeting for me to come for my clearance. That was in the month of February. So I left Kaduna to Lagos on the 10th, 12th, I arrived. No, 10, on the 11th I arrived, Lagos. So with my younger brother, who is presently late, And we went to the company premises. Upon arrival at the company premises, I was asked to enter the MD office for reconciliation of my account before I could be released and receive my gratuity and whatever claims that I had left with the company. So my brother, who accompanied me to the company premises, was asked to sit at the security gate. It's close to the CSO office.
How did you, sorry, I will have to interject.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So how did you tender your claims before the company?
Yes, I submitted all my claims to the auditor when he came to Kaduna. That was in the month of October 2020.
Is that in line with the company?
Yes, they have to be in written form.
Okay.
Which I have some of the copies here too.
Okay.
So when I get to Lagos, auditor said that they couldn't find any of the document. Then the one I have as my personal copy, I brought them out. I was asked to go back to my hotel room and return the following day on the 13th. We did reconciliation and they say they are not satisfied. I say, if you are not satisfied, look at my backup evidence. Because as of that time, there are some of the unsold books of the company with me. Instead of me returning them back to Lagos because of the cost of transportation, I was asked to waybill them to the sales recovering Bauchi Gobe, person of Adekunle Oladipo. And I told the national sales manager, Mr. Oshinowo, to write a letter in effect to that before I can raise the invoice and waybill them back to Bauchi for Mr. Adekunle for him to supply and then pay the money into the company's account. Send the letter, I received the letter, and then we built those books to Bauchi Gombe for Mr. Adekunle to supply the school within his own area of coverage.
Can you confirm that these names you've mentioned are still currently in the employment of the publishing?
Well, they are making claim that Mr. Adekunle Oladipo is dead, but I don't believe that story. Because him and the auditor of the company, Mr. Benga Olonade, were the one that were involved in the fraud activity between Gombe and Bauchi as of the time I reported the case to the management, but no action was taken that period.
Instead, you were victimized.
I was victimized. I became a victim.
Please continue your story.
So when we entered out on the 13th, I came back from my hotel room with my brother. So they didn't allow him to follow him to the MD office. He was asked to sit down at the security post within the company premises at Ilupeju Industrial Estate. So we entered around 8:45. So during that reconciliation, they just kept me waited for like 10-15 minutes. The auditor now came and called me that I should enter an office. One small office like a store. That is how he locked me up from 8:45 in the morning till there around after 5.
The auditor.
Yes.
What
That
is
the
his name?
instruction was given to him by the MD of the company.
Do you know his name?
Yes, Mr. Benga Olonade is the auditor.
Okay.
Yes. That's how he locked me up. I couldn't even get anything. I was telling my brother, this is what is happening. With all manner of beating and maltreatment.
On you?
Yes.
While you were inside
Inside the office.
Now, you alleged you were locked in there.
Yes.
You were not locked alone.
You know what he does? He come at an interval with a particular boy that work in the production department.
Production.
Yes.
Okay. So who was meting out the torture on you? It was the
boy
auditor
he brought.
himself? Okay. So the boy comes in intermittently.
That I should tell them the truth about what I know that happened in Bauchi Gombe. I said, what I know is that you guys printed the company books without the concept of the company to one honorable member that value about 18 million that time. I raised the alarm to the company and nothing was done. That was when the trouble between me and them started. So auditor has been hurting me to see I'm being dismissed from the company, but when I discovered that the thing is getting out of hand, I have to tender my resignation letter. It was at that point I was invited to Lagos that my resignation letter is not accepted. In fact, they claimed I'm owing them 6 million plus. when I get to Lagos, I brought out all my evidence, backup evidence. We did some analysis. They now came up that it was 3.9 million, not 6 million again. I said, how do you come about the 3.69 million?
Your resignation,
Yes.
was it before the unlawful arrests?
Yes. Because I resigned November, I tendered my resignation letter November 17, 2020.
Okay.
You understand? It was February that I was asked to come to Lagos for reconciliation.
Okay.
And I
But
worked with
at the time, you had already resigned
Yes, I've resigned.
due to frustrations of
Frustration, yes.
Okay.
I was only waiting for them to do my clearance and then get out of the company and move on with my life.
Okay. So your brother?
So my brother, so when he was waiting, I was communicating with him on phone. I said, this is what these people are doing to me.
He was outside for that long.
Outside at the gate.
For as long as you were inside, he was outside.
So
And your phone was with you.
yeah, my phone was with me. So he has his own phone too. Though I left the money I came with and his own business money were with him, because he buy and sell phones and accessories with laptop. That is what he's doing. So our plan was leaving that place. We will now get to Ikeja, this computer village where he normally buy his goods before we return back to Kaduna. And as of that point, I became restless. So I raised alarm to him. I said, this is what is happening. He should come in and rescue me. They didn't allow him to enter inside. So when the MD heard of his trouble with the security at the gate, he said they should throw that idiot out of the company premises. Before you know, I started hearing ole, ole, ole.
From inside?
Yes, because the building is upstairs. And you know, if you are there, you see the security.
How many stories?
It's just 2-story building.
Okay.
A story building.
Which of the floor were you?
I was at the first floor.
Okay.
So I told him, this is what these people are doing to me. I'm not owing them. Brother, they are even the one owing me. They asked me to prepare as of that time we came, they asked me to prepare my transport and whatsoever so that they can be able to settle me, and I leave the company finally. Not knowing that it was a trap they sent before they invited me to Lagos. So when they started shouting at the gate that ole, ole, before I know they started beating I was hearing, his voice from that upstairs. I said, something is wrong. So I have to force that door open. As anything that want to happen to let it happen. Because I'm not owing them. They are the one owing me.
So you were able to open the door forcefully?
Yes, I forced the door. The auditor came and dragged me. We went to the security gate. Then, before I know, my brother is already late. Blood all over. They just like they slaughter somebody, just killed him. When they were hearing, leaving him from outside, came into the company premises. That is how they murdered my brother. For me to have evidence, I snapped that picture of his death, because as of that time, he was no longer breathing. Then the Adekule that they are claiming is dead now, I invited him to come down and defend the goods I sent to him. I forwarded the pictures I snapped to him on WhatsApp. That was where I was able to get this picture. And the one saved in my phone. But eventually, if they happen to maybe get hold of my phone, I might not be able to have any evidence against them. So they didn't allow Adekule to come into the company premises. The next thing, they ordered my brother body to be thrown out of the company premises.
So you are saying for a fact that you have pictures of your brother right in the premises where he was gruesomely murdered?
Yes.
Okay.
So the MD, the chief security, now boggle me inside one Camry car, because from there to Ilupeju division is not far. It's even trackable. I don't know what they discussed with the police. The next thing, I just found myself in the police station at Ilupeju division. I told the people around, I discovered there are people that speak my language. I said, this is what these people did to me. They now brought one Yoruba guy as the police inspector. by name Inspector Oyewo. I said, they killed my brother, and these people bring me here to lock me up for no reason. That is how him tell himself started beating me up at the police station, that I should remain quiet, that anything I see here, nobody will listen to me. If they kill me here, they will just throw my dead body in Laguma and die.
Who told you that?
The policeman.
Were you able to see his name maybe on his tag or something?
Yes, it's Inspector Oyewo.
Okay.
At the Ilupeju division.
At the time?
Yes, I saw that time. That was February 14, 2020. I was locked up there with all manner of maltreatment and beating. And after 1 week, one of my brother came, who is a police. They came for official assignment in Lagos, because I have to tell him this is what is happening. And paraventure, him and his team were able to land at the Ilupeju division. They said this brother has never stolen anything since he knew him. Why would they bring me and lock me up for no reason? That is how they detained me for 1 week. They didn't, because I don't know anybody in Lagos. They were the one that invited me to Lagos. It was their influence. I came to Lagos with my brother, and after 1 week, they refused to grant me bail. The next thing, they charged me to court.
On what allegation?
That I'm owing them 3.9 million. So I told the police, what is the painful part of this story now is the killing of my brother within the company premises. No proper investigation was done by the Inspector Oyewo before they took me to Magistrate Court 2 Oba in Lagos. From there, they asked me to get to Shorty, who has landed property in Lagos. I said, this incident did not happen here in Lagos. I was invited from Kaduna town to this place before my brother was murdered. I was supposed to be the complainer. Now they told me to become a suspect. Nobody was giving me listening ear, and all effort for my brother as a policeman to end the matter did not yield any result. He left back to Kaduna because he came for an official duty.
Your brother?
So yes.
But your brother, what happened to him after that?
So the dead body of my brother was nowhere to be found. I insisted that I want to see the dead body of my brother.
Till now?
Up to this moment, we don't know where his dead body is. In fact, it came to a level that even the people from the family side were accusing me that I used my brother for ritual. I said, how can I use my own blood brother for ritual?
Your junior brother?
My junior brother, the same father, the same mother. This is what happened. It was when I brought out the evidence of his picture that they now believe that the management of West African book publishers, Ilupeju, were the one that killed my brother. So all effort for them to release me did not work out. I was sent to Krikri Medium Prison. The condition they gave is I have to, in fact, I sold 2 of my car, landed property, because I have to pay each shorty 1.something million, thereabout. I think the records are there. Got 2 shorty. They are professional shorty, because since I'm not residing in Lagos, I don't know anybody. I sold 2 of my cars.
To get bail?
Yes, to get bail. After spending about 3.something thereabout.
All this happened on an allegation of indebtedness.
Yes. That I'm owing them 3.9.
And you went to prison.
Then went to prison.
How long were you in prison for?
I was in prison there for like almost 2-3 months. I can't really cover it, because
Before you got shorties?
Yes.
So you were granted bail at the court?
Yes.
But you
After
couldn't-
paying that money to the 2 shorty, they say the 2 shorty are not qualified, that their tax clearance is not up to date. And that money I paid was not refundable. That is how my family members still went ahead to sell some of the landed property I have again to loot another 2 shorty.
What was your job description with this company?
All I do is just to promote their company books to school. After adoption, I take the order from the school, send it to Lagos. They give approval, send the books from Lagos to me, I supply to school. Then As soon as the payment is made either in check or in cash, I send it to the company account.
Which means you're working with them on contractual as a contract staff, or you're a permanent staff on salary.
Staff.
Okay.
Permanent staff. I have my ID card, my employment letter, and everything.
So you're running a salary program with them.
Yes.
Very well.
So we have to start looking for Shorty again and go to Shorty at that time. I was telling people that know about the story that this is what these people did to me. They are using this thing to buy time so that the case of killing my brother will not come up in the police station or maybe court of law. And all effort for my family to get justice did not yield any result because I was detained at the Creek medium prison there. So when we were able to get the 2 sets of Shorty, I have to pay another 1.5 to 2 of the Shorty that has tax clearance in Lagos. Because if you are not residing there, you have to look for professional Shorties that will be able to bail you out of the place. I paid the money after I've sold all that land I have. My wife and the family member friends, they went borrow money. In fact, I'm still paying some of the money up to now.
And this thing happened as far back as when? How many years down the line?
That is 2020. So after 6 months, I felt sick. No, after a year, I felt sick. I was unable to get to court. So the register, I called her and the lawyer that was standing for me then, I said I'm not fit to appear in court. So my Shorty and the lawyer will stand in place for me. Like twice, like that. The 3rd time I went to Lagos to appear in court, they said they've caught my bail. I was sent back to Krikri again. A 2nd time.
You went to the court yourself?
Yes. After I was being discharged from the hospital. Then
And your bail was revoked?
Was revoked. I was sent back to Krikri Media Prison. I spent for like a month or 2 weeks there again before I could get to perfect my bail by getting another 2 Shorty again with the same amount. Because so long we are not residing in Lagos, nobody will stand for you. You have to pay for somebody to stand for you. And they had never mentioned that case one day. If I appear in court, the complainant will not come. They will adjourn the case. Every 2 months from Kaduna to Lagos. There was the day I was going to Lagos, I was kidnapped in between, if you know Kaduna very well, in between Aliri camp and the Ola, I was kidnapped. My family have to run around again, sell land that I bought, because all I do, most of my investment are on other properties. So I was selling this thing. Pay ransom before I was free from the hands on the kidnapper.
Ransom of how much?
Yes.
How much?
I think.
Do you mind telling us, or you want to keep it?
For security reasons, I don't want to. Yes, okay. But I paid a heavy amount of money if I was released. And the case continued. I went back to Lagos again. Each time they mentioned the case, the complainant, because I was supposed to be the complainant, but they turned the case upside down and make me to become a suspect.
You were supposed to be the complainant. You did not. They
didn't allow me.
You didn't have the time to put in a petition, a proper petition.
Yes, because
so there was a petition against you. Were they acting on the petition or just a blanket arrangement? They just
it's just a blanket arrangement they did.
Okay.
With the police before I was brought to court. Because before they took me from the company premises, at the time they killed my brother, in fact, I was crying. But nobody was giving me listening care because they have already arranged with the police what to do to me at that time before I was brought to. They were the one that took me from the company premises to Ilupeju division. I was telling the policeman that this is what they did to my brother. The murdered my brother. They brought light in the company premises.
The police did not come there. They took you.
They didn't. They took me to police and had me over to police.
They took you in their car, drove you to the police station.
The auditor, the CSO, because based on the order that was given to them by the managing director of the company. That's how they went and locked me up. And each time I go to court in appearance, the complainant will not come.
Very well. We'll continue with your story. We'll proceed on a very short break and then we'll continue. You're welcome once again.
Thank you.
Hello, have you or anyone you know suffered violation or oppression, regardless of cultures, identities, or backgrounds? Leadership Hub, Justice and Economic Advancement is here for you. An organization created with an amplified voice to fight for you and with you. At LJE Nigeria, you will not only be heard, but also provided with legal support. Together, we can create a country where every individual can live without fear of violation or oppression. I am Aisha Shetima, an LJE member. You too can become a member today or report any violation by visiting our website, ljenigeria.org. You can also follow us on all social media platforms for more information and updates. Remember, together, we are stronger.
Let's conclude.
You're welcome back. So we've been able to hear from Mr. Stephen Uloko on the gruesome murder of his junior brother and the premise of West African Publishers Company in Lagos and all that happened, the unfair trade practices that has happened to him working within that space. What do you want from LJE as far as this matter is concerned?
Yes, I want LJE to help me get justice and all well-meaning Nigerians to be compensated, and at the same time to produce the dead body of the corpse of my late brother that was murdered in the company premises of West African Publishers Limited, Ilupeju, Lagos, on the 14th of February, 2020 till date. The corpse is nowhere to be found. I need justice from all well-meaning Nigerians.
To say the least, that is not too much to ask, but I would want the very seasoned practitioner here to maybe lend a voice, say one or two about, you've heard the whole story.
It's
So tell us
unfortunate,
what you-
Pascal. It's sad to say the least that in a country where we have the rule of law in place, especially governing labor law and criminality, some set of human beings will melt this kind of injustice on another person. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But I assure you that as you have come to LJE, we are Nigerians also working as a human rights organization to fight for the voiceless, yes, to give a voice to the voiceless and to those who do not even have even lost hope in the system. There's still justice in the Nigerian system, and Pastor Uloko, I assure you that justice is going to come to you and your family.
I really appreciate that.
And my deepest condolence on the loss of your brother, but we'll take it up. Thank you, Pascal.
That being said, thank you very much. Thank you very much again, once again, for Mr. Pastor Uloko for coming. So just like Munirat said, there is still justice in Nigeria. Justice is being served every day, and we believe that in Uloko's case, justice will also be served. Nigerians can comment and engage with us on our social media platforms, can write to us asking questions on the development of the matter if you want to keep tabs with us, and we'll give you live and up-to-date information on development of this case. You're welcome again, once again, Mr. Uloko.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Munirat.
Thank you for having me, Pascal.
And it's a wrap.